Christian Jack alongside Peter Montopoli, the Chief Tournament Officer for Canada for the FIFA 26 World Cup. It's getting real, Peter. It's December 2024. Yeah. Before we meet again and before we have any more media on this, it's going to be 2025, which is then the World Cup is next year. Yeah. How's the energy? How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, good. Closer? You know, it's getting real, but it's been 8 years so far. Right. You know, Victor Montagliani and I started the journey in 2016. You know, we put in the bid, we won the bid, and we've been planning for this. And 2024 was a big year for us. We have staff now. We have an office here in Liberty Village in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So yeah, things are ramping up very nicely for us.
It's December 2024 as we speak. It's also 550 days to the day that the stadium that we can see through this window at BMO Field will be hosting the first ever game for Canada at a host World Cup. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will, by the way, everybody in Canada. But just the fact that Canada gets to host that game on the second day of the World Cup, it's got to be so important.
Yeah, it's really a major stepping stone for the sport, for our country, for football. You know, I tell my staff every day that broadcast, Christian, will be the largest broadcast in the history of our country, globally, not domestically, globally. Right. So does that mean 300 million, 400 million, 500 million? The staff we have are welcoming and inviting that to show the world what our country's all about. Yeah. So it's a big day for us to really jump and tell the world what Canada's all about.
Yeah, I get really excited. Someone who loves this tournament and loves this country. I want to ask you about this country because we are playing in Toronto, we are playing in Vancouver, 13 games as a whole. But I'm sure for you and your staff, it's about telling the entire world, the country, of what is Canada. You know, not only with tourism, but people who are watching it in every facet of the corner of the world can think about what Canada stands for and what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a nation-building exercise for sure. Right. You know, we don't want it to be just the two cities and the two provinces. We want to take this across the country. So we have plans to celebrate across the country, working with governments to ensure that this is a 39-day celebration for our country, for the sport, and it's not just in two host cities. So is that, you know, fan festivals in certain cities, kicking the ball around. We've got some plans we're going to announce in the new year, so we're excited about that.
The fan fest will be exciting, but as will these countries committing to stay in this country while they're playing, right? That's got to be something that you'd be really excited. I know we've seen some of the news coming out about some of the training sites and deciding where those. Obviously, that will not be impacted until we know the draw, which will be a year ago from today. But just to have the infrastructure of these countries committing to come to Canada, that's going to be a lasting legacy for this country.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the countries have already started to come to take a look. You know, they're going to all 16 host cities. That's fine. That's what they need to do. We'll be announcing soon our team-based camp operations and our venue-specific training sites. That's in 2025. And from there, the host countries, or the countries that have qualified, will be coming in, taking a look at the accommodations, transport, and principally the stadiums to make sure that the stadiums are up to a FIFA level. And we know both stadiums, BC Place and BMO Field, will be at FIFA level for sure.
Let's go there then. You went with the stadiums. You mentioned BC Place. We know what it's going to look like. It's already a fantastic world-class facility. They're going to obviously put grass in there, and it's going to look a little bit different with the suites being built in there now. But BMO Field will look different to how it looks now. What can you tell us about the increased look of the seats there, how the seats will be? We've seen precedent in the past with Grey Cups, MLS Cup finals, where there's been very much temporary seating with no backs. It feels like this will be very different.
No, it'll be very different. FIFA would not allow just bench seating. That's not allowed. It's a seat with a back. Okay. It has a seat number, seat row. It's basically a full seat structure. We'll be up to 45,000 seats at BMO Field. Yeah, that means some seats at the ends. Mm-hmm. But it also means increased suite hospitality, servicing, which I think BMO Field really needed. And let's not forget that the seats that are there are the best viewing seats of all the 16 host stadiums and host cities. The seats at BMO Field, you know, you're right on top of the pitch. You could see the players sweating. You could hear the coaches. So there's some great ambiance that's going to be at BMO Field for sure. But, you know, we're going to bring it up to 45,000 seats. It's FIFA ready, and I think the people will be very impressed.
And then it's up to the MLSE, TFC, and everybody else to decide after that whether they want to keep any part of that. That's not really your jurisdiction.
No, it's not our decision. We would wish for it to be at the highest level possible, for sure. for the future, but that's really between TFC, MLSC, and the city as well to decide what kind of structure they wish to keep and what's going to stay. So that's entirely up to them.
Last one for you is this. You've been involved in the sport for a long time in this country.
Too long? Is that
No,
what you say?
no, not at all, my friend. But you've got that proud badge on your sweat, on your suit, as I do. How much are you enjoying this on a daily basis? You mentioned the staff here. You mentioned the fact that FIFA is invested into Canada. We actually have the greatest competition in sports coming to this wonderful country. How much are you enjoying this, and how much enthusiasm are you seeing the more and more people you think about talk about Canada?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I get it every day. I pinch myself that I'm very fortunate to be in this opportunity to do it for the country. Really, it's a badge of honor for all of us that are part of this. And you know, I get it every day when it's the Uber driver, and that's the stories that haven't really been told. Yeah. When you tell them what you do, and they say, "Sir, can you get me a ticket? I can't wait." And they all know about it, and you know that. If you're in the restaurants, you're in the hotels, you're the Uber driver again. They all want this to be successful, and they all want to be a part of it. So it's not only being in the office that we are, the 50 plus people that are working on it, the people that are in Miami or Mexico City or Zurich. It's the people in the cities of Toronto and Vancouver that are so excited to say, wait a second, this is coming to my community, I need to be a part of it. That's the part that really I feel gets me going and gets me up every day.
Well, as you said, you planned this many years ago, over a decade now, but we're there, 550 days to go until June 12th, 2026. Canada versus TBA. We'll find out who that'll be pretty soon as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Appreciate it.